All right, so hi guys. It is a Sketchbook Rambles time. Now, if you guys don't know, this was a series I started in like 2020, I think. It might have been 2021. I'm not 100% positive. But I wanted to do this like Sketchbook Rambles thing as a way to catch you guys up with my life. Pretty much, this is more so just a very personal thing. So I'm gonna be talking about just the weird, wacky shenanigans and some art stuff and some. It's like the purest example of a ramble. I don't want to call it a full on podcast because of how my computer is literally, but people can take it as that because I'm pretty much going to be rambling about like my personal life and like just random opinions and things that I have. This isn't like a very strict topic video. And the whole point of this is I work in my sketchbook because I want to work in my sketchbooks more. And two, it also gives you guys a more up to date ish version of like how my month's been, or plans or business things, or things that are just going on. Obviously, I'm not going to give you like my day to day. First of all, to kick it off with, I'm not one of those cool art YouTubers where I could talk while drawing in my sketchbook. I've tried tons of times, and I'm pretty sure it's an ADHD thing, or the fact that I'm on the spectrum, and I'm not just saying that as like an excuse. Like, I got diagnosed last year properly, and just a lot more of my life has made sense since I've gotten that diagnosis. But I literally, like, when I'm focused on something, it's all I can focus on. It's why whenever I do like my live streams on Twitch and stuff with my friends, I often ask them, I'm like, hey, I really, really need to get work done. I still want to talk, but I can't like be as engaged with the audience as I want to be, because if I'm focused on the audience, I'm not fully focused on the art, and so it takes a lot longer. And so that's why we'll read story times, we'll chat, we'll blah 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 blah, and I'll do the same thing for like some of my friends, like I'll pop into their streams and stuff. But that's why that is, because I've tried, I've trained it, I've done everything, and no matter what I do, I'll just stop drawing when I'm really focused on a point. And I don't think that's fun, because I know me and I like to look at things on a screen unless I'm literally just listening to it. So if you're just listening to it right now, go right ahead. I did the same thing. There's no shame in that. Also, I guess before anybody asks, I'm currently using a crescent render sketchbook. I'm using the 8.5 by 11 lay flat sketchbook for this footage. And the products used are a mechanical pencil set. I have it linked, like, I have like there's an Instagram post where I had it there. I literally just looked up like metal mechanical pencil on the evil Jeff Bezos website, because it's the easiest thing for me to look for, and it was cheap. And so it came in a really nice set, and so I used those to sketch. And then for the fine liners, I used a mixture of microns, Prismacolor, and I think I had like one like Copic SP I've had laying around since like 2012 that I never used all of. So yeah, there you go for that. And I think it's my picture of Name, my D&D character. That I also cough shamelessly, we stream on Twitch. But yeah, I think that's what the background footage is. So there's that. So if anybody has any art questions, you got the sketchbook, you got the paper, you got the size, you got the pencils, you got the pens, you got everything. It's just, and then obviously like a white jelly roll like every other artist does. But anyway, yeah, this month has been terrible. This month, I hate saying I'm happy I'm not alone, that other people have had a terrible month. Like, cause I don't like people being in misery. I know, shocker, who would have thought? But it's like, oh my god, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is probably one of the worst months I've had in a very, very long time. And then I've talked to my friends and they're like, oh my god, same. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not crazy. So if you guys didn't know, a quick recap, or if you didn't see my rant video that most likely went up before this, if not, it's probably that sponsored video that I need to get to editing. So hopefully, if you guys are seeing this first and you haven't seen it, that video is coming, and I'm very excited about it. I just want it to look nice, and you know me, it's Michi and hardcore editing is not a good mix, because I'm baby. So anyway, let's just start with the basic things. So the year started off great. I hung out with my friends. I actually didn't vlog at all this time around. I think if I have anything, if I have a random, like, bunch of random clips from, like, before I took my vlogging hiatus to back. So the studio vlogs will be back, but they're probably not going to be weekly. because I've just got a lot of stuff going on. Or you'll have a month like this where, for how many weeks are in January? Just hold on. I know I'm dumb here, but like, okay, I'm counting it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting it as 5. I know the first was a Saturday, but I'm counting it. All right. So for 3 of those 5 weeks, I was out of commission. So if you guys didn't know, for New Year's, my friends came and visited me. We tend to do this thing every New Year's. We've done it for like 3 years in a row now. It's also, it was a big time this time around because it's mine and my husband's girlfriend flew out too, and it's our first time as like a throuple together because we only really got together after our Renaissance Fair trip in November. So this was kind of a big deal for us. And then also, like, one of my best friends flew out, freaking Morgan. And so we had a great time. So we hung out. We did a lot of stuff. We got to play D&D on New Year's. It was lots of fun. I showed a clip in one of my more recent videos from my, like, personal Twitter of, like, just the craziness that was our D&D game in person. And it was so much fun. Oh my god, I had such a blast. Empress Kaiju was also there, my friend Anna. And it was all just great. And then they went home on the 4th, and I decided to take the rest of that week off to, like, just kind of de-stress because I don't know if anybody else is like this, but I love my friends. I love going out. I love having memories, but I only have a certain amount of, like, people meter. And this is something that even me and my husband have talked about because we've lived together for so many years and we've been together, is sometimes we just need space, like, away from each other to just, like, sit in the nothing and not talk. I know it sounds crazy, but, like, obviously we talk. We don't just do that, but it's like, oh, okay, we're, like, not gonna go hang out with friends. I'm not gonna stream or make videos. He's not gonna go do this and that. We're just gonna, like, do our jobs, like listen to random things, ask each other how our day was, and then just kind of, like, exist. We just, like, I know it sounds boring, but sometimes it's like we just get so overstimulated with the fun friend time that you're like, okay, now I need to chill. So that was the plan. And then literally that weekend, we got exposed to Fluvid thanks to a family member, which didn't tell us until after we got sick. So we hung out with some family that we hadn't seen in a while, and because that was the family that was in the hospital. And so then we ended up, hanging out. And then a couple days later, oh my god, I got so sick, and we were like, oh my god, it must be the flu or something. Maybe it was one of our friends that visited, yada, yada, yada. But then we were like, wait, but Holly didn't get sick. Zodiac Lord didn't get sick. Anna didn't get sick. And so I was like, oh crap, I hope I didn't get, like, whatever I got from my family member that was in the hospital, because they were in a hospital for, like, almost a week. And so I was a little paranoid, and I was nervous, and we could not find a take-home test anywhere. Oh my god, it was so aggravating. Because I found people, like, mass bought them, and I'm lucky, but also my uncle's one of those people that mass bought them. My uncle bought, like, a shit ton of them. And so because he did that, what ended up happening was Cody, on his way home from work, was able to pick up that test. And there's my cat. You hear my cat screaming? He doesn't like when I talk at night and no one's there, because then he's like, who are you talking to? No one's here. Is it the ghosts? So I apologize for very loud cat screaming in the background. I literally can't control that. So the perks of your office being in your living room. So I also just took a sip of coffee, so, take a drink of water or coffee or something, make sure you hydrate. Anyway, so, the test was negative, and so we were like, okay, good, it's not Fluvid, we're fine. And then the next day, Cody got sick, and I got more sick, and he got more sick, and this was the most sick we had ever been since the last time I believe we had Fluvid, which was right before the lockdown happened. It was in February 2020. And so we were like, we were dying pretty much. We both had like 100+ fevers. It was really close to us getting to the ER. There were like 2 days where I lost my sense of smell and taste. We were freaking out. We couldn't get a COVID test no matter what we did. Oh, no, YouTube. I said the naughty word. Don't suppress my video, please. I hate you. And so what ended up happening was, and before anybody's like, oh, well, you could do like this thing and this extension and this, you can do all that, they still suppress the video. So I'm going to have to do my best to try to like cut that audio out, which is great. Didn't want to do that with this. Anyway, yeah, I got terribly sick, and we were sick for about a week, and we were like, what is this? And so we were trying to get, a Fluvid test. And when we were trying to get that test, the places that we were calling to make appointments to get, like, the in-car tests, literally they were like, if you have extreme Fluvid symptoms, don't show up. And we're like, okay, more reasons why I hate my state. So, so you guys don't know, I live in Southern California. And so that ended up happening, and we were like, crap. Okay, we can't do this. Cody was lucky enough that he had sick days, because again, we live in America, you need to have sick days. You can't just call off of work when you're sick, or else we couldn't make rent. So that wasn't great for our stress. So then during this time frame, if you are a self-employed person in the state of California, you probably got a thing in the mail or a thing in your email saying that the new sales tax ID thing was going through. And so I could not focus. It was like I said, when it was the most sick I'd ever been, I do mean it. And it was to a point where I couldn't do anything. I couldn't draw. I couldn't read. I couldn't watch TV. I pretty much existed for this week. It was miserable. I was pretty much in hell. So, after all of that, we get a phone call. Like, when we're starting to get a little better, our fevers broke, we got our sense of smell and taste back, we were still very, very, very sick. We get a call from said family member that, we hung out with the week before. And they were like, oh yeah, my partner, your other parent, was exposed to Fluvid. And we're like, wait, what? And they're like, yeah, he got exposed, like 3 days before we saw you. And we were like, huh? You never... We hung out with you guys all day in a closed house with another family member that beat cancer 3 times and is an older person. You didn't tell us that? And it's like, oh, well, that family member, they've been on, Fluvid leave. They were able to quarantine for 2 weeks. And we're like, why didn't you tell us you were exposed? And it's like, well, we didn't know at the time. And I'm like, okay, when'd you find out? And Cody was like, well, Michelle, I'm like, if you follow my Instagram and you were there that time, I was going off in my Instagram stories. I was so pissed. Hence part of my whole, rant that I did. And so, needless to say, that happened. And then again, none of our friends got sick, none of that. And we are vaccinated, before anybody asks. We just didn't get our booster because there were a lot of life issues. And then we had an appointment to get our booster, but you can't get your booster if you've already been sick. So we had to wait. So I'm getting my booster this week, and I'm so excited. And by this week, I mean the week of me recording this. Because, oh my God, it was horrible. So yeah, there's that. So we're just going to knock out the first 2 weeks for that. Because after that, I was starting to get better-ish, but I was still really sick. I had this terrible cough. And I don't know about you, but when you're an artist and you need to draw, if you have a terrible, debilitating cough that causes your whole body to shake, it makes drawing really, really, really hard. Same with, recording audio. Same with doing streams or just talking. It's kind of hell. So, yeah, that all happened. And so then after that, I was like, oh, I gotta get my tax stuff together. So I started getting my tax stuff together, but I didn't know what was going on. And a couple of Discord groups I'm a part of that are for, like, artists that are in SoCal for, like, conventions and stuff, everyone's been scrambling about this tax thing. So I'm like, great. Oh, and then, then stemmed my internet issues. I don't know what's going on. I'm 99% sure it's my freaking router. But, I paid my internet bill, like a good citizen. And shortly after I paid it, and it got paid and I double checked, my internet's been spotty and it'll just cut out for hours on end. And there's nothing I can do. And I really, really hate how, condescending some people on the phone can be. I know it's their job, but I'm sitting here like, no, I'm not being a Karen here. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not raising my voice. I'm not saying that you're dumb. I'm just saying I did that. I turned my router on and off again. It's not working. And then they'd be like, oh, well, there's internet at your place. And I'm like, yeah, but it's not connecting to, like, literally any single device in my house. It's like it doesn't exist. And they're like, well, that's weird. And I'm like, I know, it's why I'm calling you to get this problem fixed. So, needless to say, at the time of recording this, the problem is not fixed, and my internet is still spotty, but hopefully we can get a new router soon, so that's aggravating. So, let's get some new stuff, some good stuff in while this is happening, okay? So the new good stuff while this is happening, while I was in the middle of Fluvid, my merch drop came in. The best time you want to package packages when you can't because you got Fluvid. my charms came in, my new stuff in my store came in, and I was very, very proud about that. I loved that. But yeah, I was like, I get to look at this and not touch it because, I'm contagious and this stuff can stay on surfaces. So this is great. Love that. Love that for me. But I did love that my shop update went amazing. I think that's great. Another emotional roller coaster is the whole like, oh, okay, we were moving out of California and now we're not moving. I don't remember if I went into it in the rant. I've kind of talked about it here and there with my friends, but I'm not going to go into too much detail about it right now. But pretty much, there was a thing that came up, there was a hiccup, and so we have to wait 6 to 7 months. And then there might be another job opportunity for my husband at the time, and if this works out, then I'll probably be like moving, but we'd be moving later, like as in like the end of this year or next year. So that's helpful. But we're still probably like 99% gonna move this year, but we're not gonna move out of state. So there's that. So that's good news and bad news, because again, I hate this state because everything is so expensive. And before anybody's like, wow, you're really negative about it, I'm like, I've born and raised here. Okay, I know it's terrible. I hate it. And my state, if you don't make like $1 million, they don't care about you. So there's that little sip of tea. And so with that though, I know I'm supposed to be positive with that. So that was an emotional roller coaster all on its own right though. So I'm really happy though, because I do get to stay for a little bit. I get to still see my family. I get to see my friends. I get to plan things. There's a couple things I wanted to do. I got into Comic-Con Revolution. That's in May. And I can announce the name of the con. I'll be tabling with a friend of mine. We don't have our table number yet, obviously. But yeah, so if in May at I think it's the Ontario Convention Center, just Google Comic-Con Revolution, Southern California. It's sometime in May. I will be there. I'm also going to try to get into this other con. It's a one-day con. I'm not going to say what it is yet because I haven't gotten in yet, so we'll see. That one I'll be solo tabling if I do get in, but it'll be a one-day. And so because of that, I'm like, okay, I can do a couple more cons like I wanted, now that I'm not moving like I thought I was. So that's really fun. It also means that I get to work more on my store and my inventory because I'm having so much fun. The money's been great. I'm not even going to say it's not that, but I'm having so much fun just creating random things and creating things I like and other people buying it and seeing the pictures, seeing the TikToks of people unwrapping my stuff, sharing merch ideas with people and getting to push myself out of my comfort zone. It's a great feeling. I'm not even going to say it's not. I love it. So, but because of that, I should be able to do another shop update, I believe sometime in mid-February. I don't have any new designs done right now, but I know that there's a couple of sets I want to get done really bad. There's a couple of new shows that I watch that I really want to make fan art for, and there's also stuff that I want to make original merch for, because I'm also having a lot of fun finally dipping into more spooky art and stuff, because I've always been hesitant about that. I love good spooky art and weird emotional pieces, but it's not my normal stuff. And so I'm always hesitant, I don't know how this will sell. I don't know how this will do. It will even be worth my time. But they're doing really well, and it makes me really happy that people are liking them and more people are getting them. And so that's it's just such a big confidence booster for me. So there's a perk. So back to the negative. Because of this new stupid law, I had to pay all of my taxes in January when I'm used to paying my taxes in, March or April when they're usually due. And just so you guys know, it's not my taxes. It's just my sales tax because California makes it do it separately because we're dumb. And for multiple years, they've always done it together. I don't know why they changed it this year. No one knows why they changed it this year or why they gave us 3 weeks notice instead of giving us 2 months so people could prepare, because I like being a law-abiding citizen and paying my taxes. But yeah, that was not fun, and that came with a whole mess of things. But in another note, that was good. My Patreon prints came in. So again, going back to the good here. So I'm not just completely negative, but like I said, January was horrendous, and I wish it just didn't exist. So what ended up happening, because I also ended up missing my brother's birthday. Love that. Love that. I haven't been able to spend birthday with him for 2 straight years now. So just not bitter. But anyway, so my prints came in. So if you guys didn't know this, on my Etsy, I actually have a sale finger quote. It's pretty much I'm trying to get rid of my old prints for my mini prints. So with my mini prints, I used to do 5x7, and I still love that size, but for, again, just how I am now, for transporting, for things, it's not a good size for me for mini prints. So I decided to move from a 5x7 to a 4x6. There's a lot more organizers I can get from there because a 4x6 is like a basic photo size, and so I can get a lot more organizers for really cheap. I can get a lot more storage things instead of having to get like special ones for the 5x7. So because of that, I still had a lot of prints left over from my con and my previous print packs, because if you guys didn't know, for my $10 and up patrons, every quarter I send out like a little mini print pack of like 4 prints, and I usually throw in an extra one because you're not getting it every month like other Patreon artists do. It is a goal on my Patreon to eventually do it every month, but at the time being, I can't afford to do that every single month, so that's why I do it quarterly. So it's just easier for me, easier for my own like taxes and booking, and the patrons don't seem to mind. So the new sizes came in, and oh my gosh, the 4x6s came out so great. They came out so crisp. I'm obviously not going to show them on screen. I'll probably take photos, like I said, and I'll put them on like Twitter or something. But they came out beautiful. I love them. I also have them now for when I do more cons. So that's going to be my new mini print size, is my 4x6s. So because of that, literally my stack of 5x7s are on sale on my Etsy until they're gone, because I'm never going to print at that size again. Well, never say never. Realistically, like in the next like 4 or 5 years, I would never use that size again. So there you go. Unless you want to like get a print off my Redbubble, which that is also helpful. But supporting it directly from my Etsy helps me out more than Redbubble does, because I already have the print and I do all the packing and everything. Anyway, I sound like I'm just shamelessly shilling right here, but it's again, we're talking about my month, and literally the only good thing in my month has been my store and getting into contact with some of my friends and learning to love traditional art again, and that's pretty much it. But now that we're done with that, and I feel like I've rambled on enough, I want to talk about like some future plans that I had for the future of this channel and future things going forward. So I know I've said this before, so I'm not going to say it this time, but I have been working on videos in the background so I can have a little bit of a buffer. So again, you might not get a video every week. I know that sucks, but it's kind of how it has to be. I have to focus my time and my money where my money is so I can pay my bills. So, and that's a whole other thing. I have a YouTube video planned where I'm going to talk about that too. Not like just my thing and the how YouTube's like changing as a whole, but it's gonna be much more of like a rambly, my opinion video. I'm not gonna go into like a big like 3-hour deep dive like some people do, which I do love those videos. Do not take it that I do not like those videos, because I do love those. They are beautiful, beautiful earworms. So I know, Binks, I'm wrapping it up. I'm sorry. So anyway, a couple things I want to do is, I actually have a story project coming out this year. I originally had another one planned with a friend of mine, but we both realized, and this is not that the project's like shelved, it's just that the person I'm collaborating with, their life is getting really, really crazy right now. So the comic project we were originally working on, we are still working on, but we're taking a hiatus from it because we're like, this is a lot bigger than we thought it was going to be, and bigger not in a bad way. It's just like, this is not going to be, we need to do a couple of test things first, like smaller things together, to see if this will work for a long-term project, because we both got really, really ambitious and we love it and we still want to do something with it. But literally, for us to start right now, it would be a project that would go on for like 4 or 5 years with how it is right now in the bare bones. And so we're both like, that's a lot for a first project for both of us. So that's why we're like, you know what? Let's just take a break. Let's work on it more later. And because my partner's also going through some stuff too. So, new jobs, yada, yada. And so that's just something we just got to work with. The same with like my own business and side stuff. We can't always work together. So because of that, I really wanted to work on something for myself, one of my own stories. And I was thinking, because I have this problem, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys listening too do. I have quite a few stories, actually, but the problem is a lot of my stories are big, meaty chonguses. They're very, very big projects, and so I was sitting here like, I really want to do a comic. I want to do a webcomic of some kind. I can't justify doing one for Marked right now. It's too big. It's too big, and it's not the whole, like, I'm not ready yet. It really comes down to, that is going to be so many things that I have zero practice in, and I do not want to have to go back and redo the first pages, because like I'll finally get better at learning how to do backgrounds and animals and things like that, and like fantasy creatures and fantasy settings and fantasy cities and big battles. again, it's not that I don't want to do those things, I have literally no practice with that. And I got a amazing book recently. I didn't kickstart it. Yeah, it's a Freudian slip. I ended up getting it kickstarted, where I followed the Starfish Face. Love her stuff. Star, great person. I support her webcomic and her Patreon. I got that book and I was reading through it, and it's really, really helpful. Again, not a promo. I paid for it, so it was really helpful and really insightful. And I haven't finished reading it fully, but a lot of the big things were like, okay, you need to start small. Like don't you're gonna draw every first starting comic thing you're gonna drop like a hat. And I'm like, yeah, I really don't want to do that with some of my bigger meaty ones. And there were other things with ticks and turns that I've talked about here and there, but that's also kind of shelved for the time being, just because of the format of how I want that one to be done. So that one wouldn't be in like a good comic format at all. So I decided, if you guys know, that there are a lot of older videos on my channel where I had background footage for it. But I will be doing a story with my Sweet Succubi characters. I'll slap a really old reference on screen right now. It's one of these guys. And so the reason why I'm being really vague is I feel like if I give too much away, like just out to the ether, I'm going to end up not doing it. So that's all I'm going to say. They will be getting redesigns, they will be getting their own videos, and that's actually where I'm going to bring back my Meet the OC series. Like, I used to do like a Marked Mage bio thing, and then I know that Oliver's Antics does like a Meet My OC thing, and I really like his stuff too. And I was like, you know what? I should do that with these guys, because I want to do something with it. I want to redesign them. And I should emphasize, when I say redesign, their designs are not changing. I'm just going to give them better outfits that are actually outfits, and like proper references. Not that these ones aren't bad, but they're just very safe for work naked. And while that's fine, they do wear outfits, and I like designing outfits. So I think that'll be a fun thing to work on. So those will be coming out. I would like to get the first video in that series done in February, but if anything, with how my workload is, it's probably going to be the end of February. But yeah, I'm really excited about that. And then I will probably shoot for those to be like a once a month video thing, because I think that would be like a really easy goal just to set right now for like goals for the year. So yeah, there's that. I'm really excited about that. Also, and this is where I think I'll end it off here, just for right now, because it's kind of just the ending of my month. So if you guys didn't know this, again, because starting a new book in my life right now, my husband and I are in a poly relationship with our girlfriend, and so because of the whole moving fiasco, he actually originally bought a plane ticket to go out there to Tejas to see her, to look at houses for us to rent. And so, because that's now no longer happening, he still had the plane ticket, and he originally offered it to me. He's like, hey, why don't you go out there first, and then, I can go out and visit her in a little bit, because, again, it's long distance, there's nothing we can do about that. And then, she can eventually come visit us until we figure out, like, a move-in situation, or if this lasts. So I'm hoping it does last, but again, life never knows. So, with that being said, I'm not saying that in like a negative way, it's just a more like we're all adults, we're all older adults, and so with that, I was like, that would be great, I would love that, but I am so behind on work, I cannot do that. So Cody will be gone for about 4 or 5 days in February. Ironically enough, he gets back on like February 13th, and so during that 4 to 5 day chunk, I am like, oh, I am gonna stream, I'm gonna get so much work done, because I couldn't leave anyway. The whole reason why he was going was, we didn't know if we could get someone to watch our animals, and my cat is very stupid, and he needs someone to feed him, because we're also not going to spend like $300 on one of those electric feeders that he probably would break, because my friends have seen him. He's a very big boy, and he's very destructive and very dumb. So, because of that, sadly, he needs to have someone come in once a day and feed him. And so, because of that, because I couldn't have a reliable thing, I was like, you know what, I'll just stay this time, it'll be whatever, and then we'll be fine. But then, this whole thing happened, so that'll be exciting. So then I get to go visit my girlfriend in March, and I'm really excited about that. I'm also really excited because this March, I know it's not February yet, but this March is the first time in 2 years, I get to spend my mother's birthday with her, and I'm really looking forward to that. Because again, flu-vid in my family is high risk. So I've been quarantining, all that stuff. I'm all good to go. Again, that's why I started packing orders and stuff, and I got my tests back, and they were negative once I had all my symptoms being gone. So, we're a good thing. So yeah, I am saying 2022 officially starts on February 1st. And I love you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you had fun with this. Oh, I should say also, how's the format? Because I ended up getting a tripod as a Christmas gift. So because of that, I was able to actually film this on my iPad with the tripod. So it was easier than messing with my webcam and stuff. But yeah, let me know how it goes. I know it's not perfect because I was still kind of figuring it out for this first one. But yeah, all help and critiques that are valid are always welcome. I hope you guys had a good one and had a good time listening to this. And please let me know down below, how was your January? Was it also terrible? Because I do kind of want to know. Because like I said, like 9 out of 10 of my friends all had a terrible January too. So I just want to know if it was like just January was cursed. So anyway, as always, guys, I will see you next time. Bye-bye.